All right, let's do a little U.S. Open Cup talk. Up to this point, the Columbus Crew, the team that I'm focusing on today, had been trophyless as Tottenham Hotspur. Dust in the cabinet, spider webs all over the place, 7 years of falling short in MLS Cup, Supporters Shield, and U.S. Open Cup, which included a 1998 U.S. Open Cup runners up medal after losing the Chicago Fire in extra time. We covered that before. Go check it out in the earlier episode. A team was filled with familiar faces with much talent, like podcast friend John Bush, Brian Dunseth, Brian Mazanov, John Harkes, Kyle Martino, 20 years old, Brian West, not to be confused with Brian White, Robert, as I've now learned to pronounce it, Varzika, Jeff Cunningham, and Brian McBride. And they found themselves itching to get themselves and then manager Greg Andrulis some silverware. Historically, U.S. Open Cup has always been the easiest route to a trophy, with most MLS clubs needing to win at most 4, but usually 3 or even 2 games versus MLS opponents and 1 to 2 games versus lower league sides. In 2002, that unfortunate lower league side for Columbus was the A-League's Richmond Kickers. They got matched up in the 3rd round against the Crew, and it was not pretty. If you're wondering how serious Columbus was going to take this competition, the team basically started its entire first 11, saw Brian McBride score a pen, and Dante Washington get a brace en route to a 3-0 drubbing of the A-League side. This then would take them forward to meet the greatest team on turf, the New York, New Jersey Metro Stars. That's right, we're fantastic. Once again, Andrulis trotted out a strong starting 11, and it paid off. McBride got on the board early at 34 minutes, and 20-year-old almost U.S. soccer president Kyle Martinez scored right at the start of the second half to make it 2-0. Faria would score for the Metro just minutes later to make it a game, but it would not be enough, as Columbus would hold on and move to the game that matters most for this story, the U.S. Open Cup semifinals versus the Kansas City Wizards. This game was not about who started. However, it was about those who came in and made a difference. The starters did not start out so hot. Chad McCarty put one in the back of his own net just 2 minutes into the game to give KC a 1-0 lead. 62nd minute, Chris Brown would double KC's lead, leaving all 2,103 fans at Ohio Stadium feeling like the end was near and their cup run was over. But an immediate sub would make all the difference. And that sub was John Wilmer Perez. Brought on directly after the goal, he jump-started a comeback with the help of Edson Buttle, who scored a 76th-minute goal to cut the lead in half. As time ticked on, hope was being lost as the game neared the 90th minute and into extra time. Then, John Wilmer Perez decided that it was time for him to play hero. He got the ball over the line in the 92nd minute to get the game to extra time. And his heroics did not end there. A banger of a shot, as it is quoted, flew past Tony Miola in the 108th minute of play to send the Columbus Crew to the U.S. Open Cup final. The coaches of this team, or Andrulis, the coach of the Crew, was quoted as saying it was certainly an entertaining game. Not the way you draw it up, but I think our guys showed a tremendous amount of heart and determination and never say die attitude. On the flip side, Wizards head coach Bob Gansler, I thought we were the better team for 75 minutes. After Chris Brown's goal, we felt that we were in good shape. Obviously, their first goal in the 76th minute gave them momentum, and they just kept coming at us. Then I felt in the first overtime, we were the better side, and we were closer to scoring and did a good job of creating opportunities. The work was there, the effort was there, the intensity was there, the passion and all of it was there. But we needed to finish the game in regulation. We had plenty of opportunities. Preki had one go off the crossbar, and there were a couple of other opportunities to make it 3-0, and we just ran out of gas at the end. It's quite clear that KC felt hard done by, but at the end of the day, it's not feelings, but scores that put you through. Chicago would move on then to the final game against none other than the LA Galaxy. For anybody who wants to rewatch that match, the U.S. Open Cup final between these two teams is posted on YouTube and features 90 minutes of our good friend John Bush in goal. And it starts off pretty early with him catching an elbow to the side of the head from Carlos Ruiz in the 9th minute of play. If VAR was around back then, he was off. It was quite clear. He loaded up, bang, caught him right in the side of the head. Bushy did well to get up and continue playing for the rest of the game, but it was shocking that they only saw yellow. In the 30th minute, everybody's favorite talking head, Alexi Lalas, would go in for a challenge and miss the ball completely. Brian West, not to be confused with Brian White, played across into the box, carried away by goalkeeper Matt Reese right into the path of Kenny Garcia, who volleyed it home into an empty net for the 1-0 lead. Fast forward to the second half, where again, if VAR had been here, Ruiz would have gotten a second red card. He was on the ground in a mix-up with McCarty and threw an elbow right at McCarty's midsection. McCarty got up and gave a shove. The refs missed the original elbow and gave McCarty a yellow for the response and retaliation. That was about as feisty as things got, as the rest of the game was very MLS 1.0. Low quality play, low quality chances, not much happening until the 83rd minute when LA was handed a lifeline in the form of a second yellow card to McCarty. They were up a man with about 10 minutes to go. The first yellow was soft. The second one was kind of okay. I still don't know if it would be given to in this day MLS, but that's neither here nor there because it was given on that day. The Galaxy would fight hard, seeing a 91st minute effort saved by Bush, fumbled into open play, followed up was cleared by Varzika after the scramble in front nearly caused the game to go level. Somebody called for a PK, but instead a corner was given. Then, with 15 seconds left, a big cross comes into the box. Bush climbs over a defender and a striker to punch the ball away. And as the ball flies away, the full-time whistle goes. The boys, including our podcast friend John Bush, I don't know if you guys know we're friends with John Bush, it's whatever. He is losing his mind. He is on the ground celebrating. He is screaming, fist pumping. His interviews were great. I mean, you could tell he was loving it. He lost his voice during the end of his interviews. He's trying to talk and he's like screaming at the person at the microphone. It was fantastic. And it really showed what it meant for Columbus going 7 years with the support that they did, finally getting that title and that trophy. And again, one of those games that 2,000 people were at the semifinal. It was a decent amount of more people at the final, but it was those people who were there who bought into the system, who bought into MLS, who bought into the team to say, this is where I want to go. This is what I want to be a part of. However, for the Galaxy, while they were very close to doing a treble, this was the one that got away.
Is that the transition point?
That's the segue. Yep.
Very nice. Very nice. Honestly, I'm not going to lie. And maybe shame on me for not knowing this, but did not remember that Bush played for Columbus.
That's awful. You are off the pod.
I remember
three podcast ban.
I remember him being on San Jose. Like, that's just kind of the team I match with Bush.
He was bigger at Columbus than he was in he was bigger at Columbus and Chicago than he was at San Jose, but okay.
Maybe it's I don't know. Didn't he? I think he did San Jose towards the end of his career.
Yes.
I think it's more so recency that I kind of placed with it.
Yeah. You've got a 3 podcast ban for that lack of ball knowledge.
Straight red card.